Welcome back to AC Spencer Trades. Today we're going to be going over my trading journey. Now, I'm hoping that this is going to give you guys some encouragement that it takes a very, very long time to become a successful trader. Now, there's no doubt that I took the longer path to become a successful trader because I didn't go out and get any education. I did it purely off of YouTube and through self-learning, which added, I think, probably 4 years to my trading journey out of the full 7 that I've been trading for so far. So that is something that I can definitely recommend off the bat to you guys. If you are starting the trading journey or if you're in the trading journey, just save yourself a load of time and a load of money and go and get the education. Honestly, you're better off spending some money on education than you are just losing that money in the markets. And I can almost guarantee that you will lose that money in the markets without the education unless you spend a ridiculous amount of time actually inside of the markets. So my journey started back in 2019. So back then I had a plumbing and heating apprenticeship. I was working for a company called First Call 24/7 in Pershore in the UK. And it was a nice job, right? It was okay, but I'd been kicked out of school. I'd been kicked out of college. I had been in trouble with the police. So I didn't really have any other option than to go and join the trades. It wasn't my go-to career choice. I actually wanted to be a personal trainer in the gym, but ended up going into the trades because it was the last option for me. So that was where everything started. Then during my plumbing and heating apprenticeship, I went into, well, the whole country, the whole world obviously fell into COVID, right? And during COVID time, I got furloughed away from my job. So I was no longer out on the tools every day. I was sat at home with nothing to do and still earning 80% of my wage. So I thought, well, this is the perfect time for me to go and start earning some more money, right? So what I did back in 2019 was I went and joined a spring onion factory, right? And this really opened my eyes to what the 9 to 5 is really like. Like, working in the trades is good, but you've got a certain element of freedom. You've got your own van, you're popping around to different customers' houses. But when you're stuck in a spring onion factory, you start to lose your mind a little bit. And that is exactly what happened to me. And that is the reason why I found trading, right? I was sat there, I'm scrolling through Instagram, getting ready to go to the spring onion factory. And I'm sat there, I'm thinking, I'm better than this. I can definitely do better than working in a spring onion factory, right? We've had a bit of a rocky start with school, with college, with the troubles with the police. Now it's really time to start making a change. And that was when I learned trading. So between 2019 to 2023, I was trading like an idiot. And I really mean that. I had zero structure. I didn't know what a trading plan was. I just believed that I could come into the markets, go long or go short, and I might end up making some money. And I did for the first week, but that was very short-lived. My beginner's luck did not last very long. Now, in the process between 2019 to 2023 of trading like an idiot, I lost a substantial amount of money. £50,000 is what I lost during this period. And that is a brutal, brutal, brutal amount of money for anyone to lose, let alone the apprentice, which is working for like £4.20 an hour, right? Obviously, I'd accumulated this money in other ways and not through my apprenticeship, whether that was doing little jobs on the side for parents, for family, whatever it was. So once I had lost all of this money, this 50K, I thought, hang on a minute, we've got a serious problem. I cannot continue to trade the way that I'm trading here because I'm going to start going into debt. I've now lost all of my savings. We need to seriously start looking at this in a bit of a different manner. And that was when I started building structure into my trading. So this is where you should start. You should be starting from my 2023, cut out from 2019 to 2023. If you're watching this and you're a beginner, start building structure straight away. And what I mean by that is spreadsheets and having an actual strategy which you're following so you can collect data and understand exactly why and how the charts are moving. So during this time, I was trading purely mechanical systems, right? I didn't use any discretion. I had a checklist and it was black and white, bong, 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 bong. Do I enter yes or no? Now, trading solely from mechanical systems is very unlikely to make you a profit. I will be totally honest about that. These guys which talk about trading strategies, I know I post them on YouTube as well, but you have to bring a certain element of discretion into your trading to generate a profit. However, you should go through this phase, because this phase here is going to teach you about market structure. It's going to teach you about discipline. It's going to teach you how to follow rules. It builds everything that you need during this phase to then become a full-time trader and start using some discretion in there. So what happened during this phase was I started getting some proper education. I went to the London Academy of Trading. I sat my Applied Financial Analyst exam, passed that. And then this stage here, I was breaking even, right? So I went from losing money to then recouping all of that money. So I managed to get this 50K back, and now I was at break even by the end of 2024. Now, through this, it was a really great time for me. I really enjoyed this. I had now come out of my plumbing and heating apprenticeship. I was working full time. I had my own business. I had about 7 people working for me, installing bathrooms and heating systems, and business was absolutely booming. It was thriving. And then I was able to do the trading at the same time as this. It was absolutely exceptional. Then it got to the point where I was having issues with clients, I was having issues with my staff, so I ended up getting rid of that business altogether and went full-time into trading. Now, the transition from going from working and trading into full-time trading is huge, and it's massive on the psychology, because you know that you were going to be able to pay the bills with this work. Now, you transition into full-time trading, you've got nothing to rely on other than your trading, right? So this really starts to make a bit of a pivot in the way that you trade. Sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad. For me, it was definitely for the good. I took it way more serious. I had more time to not just sit at the charts. Not sitting at the charts for more time doesn't necessarily help your trading, but more time to journal, more time to backtest, more time for data collection, more time for more education meant that I just became a better and better trader. And I still educate myself now in the trading space. I'm not done with my education. I'm a level 1 CFA candidate, so I'm working towards that at the moment, which I should have by probably the end of this year, start of next year. And the financial space is constantly adapting, right? You don't want to be that guy which stands still and starts to fall back. You need to be the guy which is ahead of the curve and constantly trying to learn more and more, because the financial space is so quick, it's always adapting, and you have to be ahead of the curve. So in the full 7 years of me trading, we've got from 2019 to 2023, right? This should all be completely forgotten about. That is minus 4 years, okay? So this now turns into a 3-year journey, okay? Now, with this 3-year journey, I went from losing money to breaking even and making my 50K back within 1 year of structured trading. Now I'm full-time trading. Completely different story. I'm not going to get into the figures of what I earn and what I don't earn, because it's completely irrelevant for this journey. But what the point of this is trying to prove is that if you remove all the bullshit at the start, the realistic learning curve is between here and here for trading, right? And that's 1 year. That's all it took for me to go from losing a shitload of money to managing to make a reasonable amount of money in 1 year and pull it all back to that break-even phase, and then go into making money for a few years. So cut out all of this, do this phase, and then you can become a full-time trader. That's what it takes. Now, if you're looking for the education, if you want to take your trading to that next level, or just become a full-time trader, then make sure you check out the link in the description to the Grit Trading Academy, which is my academy. I've built it for the purpose of becoming a full-time trader, and that is for swing traders, for scalpers, for intraday traders, for position traders. I'm not teaching one of these courses where, oh, I'll just teach you my strategy and I'll charge you 10 grand for it. No. I want to teach you how to become a professional trader, how to build the structure, how to nail the structure, how to understand how to make money, manage money, data collection. Everything that you need is inside of that academy. So make sure you check out that link below, and it starts from just $49 a month. Now, please like, comment, subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed the video. And of course, guys, I will see you in the next one.